Hello and welcome to Face to Face Conversations. Today I am in conversation with the lovely Zoe Owl. She is a clinical psychologist, a hypnotherapist, and the author of 5 books. Her latest one entitled The Reluctant Psychic, which you can find on her website, zoeowl.com, and also on Amazon. Zoe believes that wisdom is healed pain, and today's conversation is very meaningful, very moving, and really demonstrates the power of the photo and how we develop what we see in our photos over time. So enjoy. So, hi Zoe, lovely to have you on Face to Face. Tell me about your picture.
Yeah, it's really, by all appearances, it's quite a glamorous picture when you first look at it. It's of me laying down, eyes to the camera, and there's a sparkle in my eye, and it looks quite glamorous. It was actually taken at a friend of mine. It was her 30th birthday, and it was part of her birthday celebration. So, you know, one of these where you go along to the studio and you try on all different outfits and you get your hair done and your makeup done, have a glass of champagne, and then do a full photo shoot for outfit. And then, you know, the sort of bonding in between. So it was a whole sort of package day for my friend's 30th. And so I went along and I did this. And the photograph's very powerful because I was actually miscarrying at the time. I was actually bleeding as the day unfolded. And my friend was a really good friend and is a good friend, and kind of expected me to, you know, maybe cancel at the last minute, understandably. But I didn't want to. I felt a loyalty to her, to, you know, for life going on, her celebrating her birthday and not wanting to miss the milestone, because it's something I know she was really looking forward to, and you know, and other friends were coming as well, and but it wasn't just that; it was also within myself to, you know, prove to myself that I could, you know, I'm a woman, I can plod on, I can get on with these things. And it kind of, in a way as well, it's kind of an honor, it's a memory to that time. You know, it was obviously it's a very painful time, you know, as women when we miscarry. And there was a lot of grief and there was a lot of, you know, crying either side of the picture. But for that day, I kind of held that moment and allowed myself to, you know, to flow in a more glamorous setting. So by all appearances, it's a very glamorous picture. But I was, you know, undergoing a lot of emotion, deep emotion, very raw emotion, as I was still, miscarrying behind it.
Can we have a look at your image, please?
Yeah, sure.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
So I'm just sort of laying down on a bed and I'm looking at the camera, and you know, I've got quite glamorous clothes, and it's actually a blue butterfly necklace. It's all a bit squashed up because I'm laying down, but it kind of opened up as a blue butterfly, which now I'm looking back on the photo, I'm realizing the significance of that, which is why I've adorned this blue butterfly here today, just in honor of, you know, the power of women speaking their truth, being their truth, and connecting. It really connected me in with the strength of my deep divine feminine. That's what I felt. And I placed this above my dresser so that I see it every day when I'm getting ready. And it feels like the photo honors. I know intuitively, I know it was a baby girl that I was carrying and wasn't quite ready, you know, for her to touch down. And it feels like an honor to her. I see her in my eyes, actually. I see her in the twinkle in my eyes, in a spirit form. And so it's really powerful for me to see that, you know, above my dresser every day. It acknowledges that, you know, she may not have come through as a full soul here in the physical, but in spirit, you know, she's there in the eyes. So that's really, really powerful for me.
Gosh, and me, and I'm sure everyone that will watch this. That's an incredibly moving story. I have tears in my eyes. I understand what it is to miscarry, so I have a lot of empathy for you, and I find it just so beautiful that you have this picture in a frame that you look at every day to honor your unborn daughter.
Yeah.
When you do look into your eyes in this picture and see her spirit, what's your main emotion?
Joy, sparkle, joy, gratitude, and yeah, the joy for life, itself, and honor, a deep honor to the journey of life. You know, it's a very challenging, at times very difficult, you know, being here as a person, being here as a physical body, and navigating the chapters of, you know, a three-dimensional world. So yeah, joy and honor, and honoring that, that she, you know, even though she didn't, I call it touchdown, she touched down but she left again, and even though she didn't stay, you know, it's honoring that aspect of the journey, that part of the journey. So because I think when, you know, as women, when we do miscarry, we do want to honor in some way that, you know, that chapter, that part of our life, it happened, and not just to gloss over it all, for want of a better term, and forget about it, you know, but to sort of mark it in some way. Absolutely. And so it feels very intimate as well, because that's an intimate moment that I have with that sparkle. You know, it's not me admiring or narcissistically like falling into the love of my own eyes, but I'm seeing the sparkle of, yeah, I know that's her spirit in there. So yeah, it feels great honor.
Amazing. And how long ago was this photograph taken?
That was 10 years ago now. Sorry, 11 years, but it would have been about 11 years ago. Yeah, for my friend's 30th. So.
And how has your relationship with the picture and the meaning developed over time for you?
Interestingly, it's always been above. It went above my dresser straight away, and I think that was paying homage to the achievement of me managing to pull that day off, and you know, and doing that for my friend, and doing it for myself as well, of course. And you know, it's just testament to the strength of women and what we can do, even, you know, despite the challenges that we're sometimes faced with. And I think it also, it's become more powerful for me because it shows me how I've embraced my pain and my shadow into my mainstream everyday world. So when I look at that photo, it's a mainstream photo, but I know the journey, you know, that personal connection of what's behind that. And very interestingly, I mean, in no way do I want to, you know, in no shape or form compare myself to Marilyn Monroe, but I do have a postcard picture near my dresser that's there as well. Can I just show you this?
Please,
image?
Yes.
And I just had this up because I just love the image. It's just so powerful. It's black and white. Yeah, it's quite a rare one. And it's her sitting on a curb, putting on her lipstick, and she's got a handbag open next to her, and she's got a book there, which is very interesting because it's the body, the thinking body. Okay. And it kind of shows another side. I think there's so much in that photograph. And I think what I love is if you look at the photograph at a face value level, you know, it's classic Marilyn Monroe, and she looks so innocent, and she obviously looks so stunningly beautiful. But it carries a lot of depth. That I can see a lot more behind that sort
Mm.
of, just that presenting facade. I can see, the depth of her, and there's a lot more going on than meets the eye.
And how
Um,
much do you think that what you see in your picture influences what you see in that picture and perhaps other photographs?
yeah, interesting question, because that I only pulled that off this morning when I was, getting everything ready, and I was like, oh, I was drawing the parallel just there and then. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because I know as a psychologist, I understand that we project out into the world, what's within us. So, I dare say, like, part of that is my own experience that I'm projecting into her picture. But I just think, because it's very interesting on that example, because she was always presented as a bit of a dolly bird, with
Mm.
a bimbo, the powerful men's lover, and sort of, I mean, there's many different portrayals of her, but that's one. Yet she was a thinking woman. There was
Mm.
she's a very powerful woman. The secrecy, like the innocence and the secrecy. She's presented there very innocent, but it's the secrets that she knows about all of her lovers and the powerful men, and that really comes across. As a
Yeah.
woman looking at another woman, I can see that quite clearly. And I suppose in my picture, if you took it on a face value, it's innocent and it's glamorous, and it's, you could even say, oh, that twinkle is like come to bed eyes because I'm laying down. But it's not about that at all. That was an honoring of a life coming to earth. So, and people wouldn't necessarily guess that.
No.
So it just shows how much depth is in photography, how much story, how much individual story that isn't necessarily always apparent to, every other viewer.
Yes.
But the person themselves has that really, deep, profound, and magical, special connection, that only they know. And I'm sure Marilyn had many of those moments.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. Oh, that's just amazing. Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
but that's not to draw. Yes, I'm not drawing any parallels with me and
No, no,
Marilyn.
no, no. I didn't take that in the slightest. I love that you picked that out this morning and how kind of intuitive that was for you, and what you see now in that picture. I love that. I love looking at images and then re-looking and seeing what else you can see.
Yeah, because it's layers. You see more and
Yeah.
more layers, and I suppose, in answer to your question, how that picture, it's been there in a prominent position for me, but it's grown in depth. It's grown in my connection with it. Definitely has got multitude of layers,
Mm.
and I think it's very interesting as well because on the day I chose this necklace, this blue, deep blue, butterfly necklace. It's a bit difficult to see the shape. You can just about see the shape on the image, but I didn't. I just chose that because it went with the dress. It was like a deep dark navy blue, and it was interesting that I was into that. The depth of that blue hue color.
Mm.
Um, and when I got it down for this interview, I was like, oh, it was a butterfly, and I was wearing a butterfly on my throat chakra, which is all about speaking our truth, is all about, the journey of transformation, the empowerment journey, and the alchemy, the phases that the
Yeah.
butterfly goes through. And it being on the throat chakra is really, synchronistically and strategically placed. So
Beautiful.
interesting as well.
Yeah, that's amazing that you noticed that just this morning.
Yeah, yeah. And I look at that
Oh,
picture every day because, it's where I get ready and do put my face and hair and so on. So,
that
yeah,
and
you
it's
can always see new things.
always
Yeah,
see new things. I mean, that's just the most incredible and beautiful demonstration of that. For 10 years, you've been looking at this picture at least
never.
once or
Yeah.
twice a day, 11 years. And today you notice that.
What I'm wearing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so extraordinary. I love it so much. Thank you. Zoe, how has it been talking about your picture today?
Yeah, really nice. it feels really, because how I connect with that picture, it's very, for me, it's self-love, it's love for life, and the baby life that came through at that time 11 years ago. And it's also evolved into self-love, the love of myself, as in being a whole self, being a complete self, and being a woman, and honoring my, my feminine, my warrior spirit, the strength of my spirit that's within, and my power to, get on with life, and my power to, get things done and do things, and, despite what it is that I'm going through, but also integrating that challenge, that pain, and that shadow, not pushing it away as something to be forgotten or hidden or not acknowledged, but it's there, it's in, it's in the photo. So it's it captures, the essence of what was really going on for me at that time. And I think it also shows that we shouldn't judge any other person, in a photo, setting, or a photo shoot, because we don't know what's going on for that person. We don't know, Marilyn Monroe looks so innocent and so vulnerable. In a way, she looks really beautiful and vulnerable in that photo, but we don't know what backstory was going on there. I'm sure there was, a lot more going on. And so, just not to judge anybody, because appearances are there's layers, isn't there?
Yeah.
Lots in appearances.
Most definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Zoe. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Fascinating. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you. Thanks so very much.
What an amazing interview. I loved that so much. What really struck me about Zoe was that even after 11 years, she was still finding new things in her picture. Even this morning, while she was looking at her picture before the recording, she found something new. And isn't that amazing? And that just really, for me, demonstrates the power of the photograph, and particularly photographs of ourselves, if we allow them. So if you have an image that has a lot of meaning to you and you'd like to be considered for the face-to-face conversation, please do get in touch. I'd love to hear from you.